Tyson Fury says Anthony Joshua needs to eliminate all the ass kissers from his team, all the yes men, if he is going to redeem himself, beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, and remain a world champion moving forward. So I'm going to quote the Gypsy King directly. He says he needs to get shot of every ass kisser around him, because in this game, there's no space for yes men. There's no pats on the back, bagmen. Like his dad said, he needs to get a bit smarter and listen to people who care, not to people who are around him for a free ride. I think the invincibility factor is gone. People know now if they clip him, he's gone. So those are the words of the Gypsy King. Now, this is the first time that I've seen Tyson Fury allude to, the possibility of AJ getting rid of Robert McCracken. I mean, that's certainly what it alludes to in this article. It says here, when Fury returned from his layoff, he parted ways with Peter Fury and got Ben Davison on board. And it says here, Fury would advise Joshua to do the same to change the team around him. So he doesn't specifically say that Robert McCracken needs to go, but he's talking about the team around him. Now, personally, I don't think Robert McCracken is a yes man. He doesn't come across that way to me. In fact, quite the opposite. Robert McCracken comes across as a quite authoritarian coach. That's how Robert McCracken comes across to me. So for me, it's not really about the yes man situation with Robert McCracken. It's just about what he can actually teach Anthony Joshua moving forward. Does he have the know-how to be able to elevate AJ's game to a next level? I personally don't think so. Hence why I think he should go with somebody else, and why he should take some rehabilitation fights rather than going straight back into championship contention, where there's a tremendous amount of pressure, where you're not going to be able to tailor your learning experience in the best way. You're not going to be able to do that when you're world champion, because there's pressure on you to fight certain people, mandatories, unify with other champions. You're limited in terms of opponents you can pick. So you won't be able to, as I say, really tailor your learning experience in the best possible way. But if you step away from championship contention, if you let Ruiz take those belts, the belts will always be there. I don't understand this panic that some boxing fans have, these AJ fans. They've got this panic about them where they're desperate for AJ to get the belts back immediately. That might be the worst thing that AJ's ever done in his career, is trying to go for the Andy Ruiz rematch immediately. But it's all about the one-upmanship, it seems, with a lot of these AJ fans. They're so hurt by the stuff that the Wilder fans and the American fans are saying to them that they feel the need, to just push AJ right back into a rematch. Go on, fight him again. You have to. It's for the honor of Britain and all this kind of business. Listen, boxing fans are going to say what they're going to say. You have to look at, if you're truly an Anthony Joshua fan, or even just an objective boxing fan and somebody who wants to see all fighters make the best out of their ability, if that's the position you're coming from, then you need to think beyond money. You need to think beyond what rival boxing fans think. Because the fight that makes the most money, or the fight that would appease the rival boxing fans, is not necessarily the fight that is best for a fighter's development. In the ring development, developing his all-round game. It's not necessarily the same fight and the same direction to take. As I've said in previous videos, Anthony Joshua is a multi-millionaire. He's not strapped for cash. He's made more money than Wilder, Fury, and all these other guys combined. As far as AJ, there should be no rush to get back in there and start making huge amounts of money. No. For Sky there is. For Eddie Hearn there is. For DAZN there is. But for AJ, there shouldn't be no, desperate clamoring to get right back in there in championship. I know AJ's got pride. I know he wants to right the wrong. I know he feels humiliated. But as the saying goes, pride comes before a fall. And he's already fallen once. Does he want to fall again? Because if he was to lose to Andy Ruiz Jr. in the rematch, it's going to be a much longer road coming back than if he was to just, go his own way now and rebuild. If he loses 2 on the bounce, boy, he's going to be falling even further down than he has already. And he's going to lose even more supporters in terms of people losing faith in him. Because a lot of people have lost faith in Anthony Joshua, even if they tune in to watch the Ruiz rematch. And by the way, some people have misconstrued what I've said in some previous videos, contacting me and saying, oh, you're wrong. The AJ Ruiz rematch will sell out. I never said the AJ Ruiz rematch wouldn't sell out. Of course it will sell out. But depending on what happens in that rematch, if AJ just jab, grabs and goes to 12, looks vulnerable, but manages to get a points win, that is not going to go down so well. And I don't think moving forward, he's going to have the same support that he did previously. I could be wrong, but, we'll see. And of course, if he gets knocked out, if he gets beat in the Ruiz rematch, well, what, you think he's going to still have the same support? Times have changed. This ain't the 80s with Frank Bruno. This is a time when British sports fans have higher standards for their athletes. Because this is a time when Britain has had multiple world heavyweight champions, multiple world champions in different divisions. If Frank Bruno was around today, getting beaten every time he steps up to world title fights, he wouldn't be as popular as he was in the 80s. Because in the 80s, he was the only British fighter who was even remotely world class at heavyweight. It's not until Lennox Lewis came along that all changed. So very different time. And yeah, getting back to the original point, AJ needing to get rid of yes men in his team. I mean, perhaps. I'm not sure who those yes men are, if they do exist, because AJ's team is quite a closed situation. He doesn't really let people into his team and what have you, too often. But will AJ come back with a different type of mentality? Has AJ gone a little bit too Hollywood? Will he go into the rematch with Ruiz and come out to Stormzy shut up like back in the days? Maybe he will. Maybe it will be successful. Then again, maybe it won't, because we've seen guys try to roll back the clock. I know AJ's not an old guy, he's still young. But from a mental point of view, we've seen guys try to roll back the clock and do things how they used to do it, and it still turned out bad. David Haye in the Tony Bellew rematch might be a good example. Tried to roll back the clock, tried to wear his old boxing trunks that he used to wear, tried to do things, how he used to do them. Made no difference in the rematch. Again, AJ, much younger than that, doesn't have all the, baggage and the injuries and the long layoffs that AJ had going into the Bellew first fight or rematch. But still, from a psychological point of view, it's an example of how somebody can, try and attach themselves to the past when they were in their prime and when things were going well, and try and replicate the same energy of that, but still be unsuccessful. So we'll see what happens with AJ. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.